Today we're going to remake Golden Hour by Jake. While doing that, I'm going to show you how to create beautiful strings using software instruments, how to get a beautiful thick piano sound, and if that wasn't enough, we're going to do it all in 1 hour. And at the end, it should sound a little bit like this. Stopwatch, 3, 2, 1, go! Create a software instrument, press G to open up global tracks. At signature, press the plus sign and change your time signature to 3/4. And move the BPM up to 189. Y to open up the library. Let's go piano, Steinway, grand piano. And record in the left hand. A, G sharp, minor, so G, F sharp minor, down to E. That's pretty fast. You could record the MIDI in a lower BPM and then just bring it up afterwards. Command A to select all the notes. Q to quantize, but let's bring down the strength a little bit so it still feels like a human played it. Command D, record in the right hand. Drop the E there. Nice, and the last one. That is super fun to play. We can quantize those as well to the 8 note. And let's go functions, MIDI transform, fixed velocity, change from fix to max, scroll up. So we set our max velocity as 118. So anything that's above it will come down to 118. Shift click to the top track, shift command G to create a piano group. Click on sounds and create a bus 10. And here, let's go reverb, chroma verb. And in the presets, chambers, piano chamber. That'll definitely work, right? Slightly longer pre-delay and more decay as well. That sounds pretty good, but if we go to the right hand, press A to open up the automation, change from note velocity to sustain, and we can get the sustain pedal to open and close each time the right hand pattern happens. So playhead at the start, click and drag over that automation, command C, move your playhead to 2 bars later, command V, and the automation copies across. And do that a few more times. Beautiful. And that definitely makes it sound a lot more like a real piano. 14 minutes, 8 seconds. That definitely took a bit too long. Time to move a little bit faster. Create a new software instrument. Change the synth sound to alchemy. Search bass. Scroll down. Let's try synth double bass. And get rid of that reverb. Option click and drag across that piano MIDI. Option hyphen to put in markers. G to open up global tracks. So we have a verse and a chorus. Command T, shorten the piano at the first chord and the last chord. Get rid of the middle two. The first chord happens twice and the last chord happens twice as well. And shorten the verse piano by a bar. Record in the bass. A again. Down to E. Then E again. F sharp, G sharp. Beautiful. Q to quantize. Shift backslash so all our notes are legato. And also functions, MIDI transform, fix the velocity. Change from max to fix, slide up to 100, select and operate. Now our bass notes are lovely and steady. And give the bass a tiny bit more attack. Option C, bass red, piano's light blue, 18 minutes, 33 seconds. I really do love it when we have a straightforward bass. Create a new audio track. I'm going to drag in an impact. This is from a free trap sample pack from Cymatics. Just Google it and you'll be able to find it. That's pretty huge. Control B to bounce it in place. Region, more, reverse. So now we have a reverse impact as well. Let's move that to the build up before the chorus. Chop off its end. Give it a little fade. Turn down their volume. Click on EQ. Open a low cut and move it up to cut out a good amount of the low frequencies. Sounds pretty good. Let's try sounds. Bus. Let's choose 25 this time. Open up Modulation Tremolo. That's so cool. It gives the riser a lovely width. Let's stick with 1/32 and suiting around 30. Go back to the impact, reverb, chroma verb. Let's go back to the piano chamber as well. Now this is on the track, so we can control how dry or wet this impact is going to be. Nice. That should definitely help. That's pretty good. Option C, color them yellow. Hold an option and copy that chorus twice and move the riser halfway through and to the very end as well. Later on, we'll mix in the volumes of each of those impacts and risers. 23 minutes, 24 seconds. So many sounds left. The pressure's really on now. Create a new software instrument. Y to open up the library. Search staccato, string ensemble staccato. Option click and drag down the right hand piano. Doesn't sound too bad. Double click on the MIDI. Command A, shift, option up. So they're up an octave. Much better. And the piano goes up an octave in the chorus as well. Much better. Yeah, that's it. Command D to duplicate the string track. White, open up the library. Search staccato again. Let's try viola section staccato. Option, click and drag down the MIDI. Those notes are even more staccato. That's perfect. Shift click to the other string track. Shift Command G for string staccato group. Click on sounds and put our bus 10 or reverb on this track. Nice. That's going to work really well. We could click on EQ and shave off some of the low mids there, just to be safe. We want our strings to be really taking up the high frequencies and adding energy and rhythm, not so much the body. With the viola section, functions, MIDI transform, humanize, select and operate. So now the viola is going to hit at different volumes and at slightly different times to the other strings, which will really thicken up the sound and sound like there's even more players playing. Super. I'm loving how that sounds. Option C, color the violins light brown. 31 minutes, 51 seconds. Halfway there. Let's try and keep that pace up. Go up to our Steinway grand piano, Command D to duplicate that track, drag it down to the bottom and record in D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, which is the vocal melody line. C sharp, E, B, A, G sharp. That's a beautiful line. We can quantize those 50% because there's so much latency through my keyboard. Shift / keep so that all the notes are legato. Option click and drag across to the second half as well. And make sure all those notes go to the very end. That piano automatically has a bus 3 with Space Designer on it. So maybe keep that and add in our bus 10 from earlier. MIDI transform and fix that velocity. And maybe fix it to 127 so it's really strong piano. Nice. I'm really happy with how that sounds. Let's take up the lead piano. So go to imaging, stereo spread. With it off, then on. Does really well at just opening the piano up. Option C, color those pianos blue as well. Maybe darker blue. Command S to save. 35 minutes, 15 seconds. Go to the string staccato group. Command D to duplicate that group. White, open up the library. Search legato. Violin section 1 legato. And for the second synth, let's try violin section 1 tremolo. Option click up the Steinway melody, but get rid of those few bars before the chorus. And use that for both of those violin sections. Using tremolo sections to add intensity is such a cheat code. It really does make a world of difference. Let's move those violins a little bit early so they can catch up with the piano. Oh, it's so cool. I'm really enjoying this one. I don't know if you can tell. Option C, color those brown as well. 40 minutes, 1 second. This is really starting to come together. Command D, the piano track. Let's go to the first section and the piano goes A7, A7, G sharp, B, G sharp, G, F, A major, F sharp, A major, G sharp. On repeat, off. Whew, that is hard to play. Quantize those notes a little bit and edit the velocities of the repeated G sharps at the end so it's ramping up the whole way. Off. And I have the sustain pedal opening and closing on each of those chords. Imaging, stereo spread to help give it a bit more presence. Command D that track and now record in A7, A at the top. And the same again. Then to E, E7. And then a 7 there of E. F sharp, G sharp. And that repeats twice. Option, click and drag across for the second half. But we should cut out some of the low mids because we already have a sub bass taking a lot of the low frequencies in the chorus. Option C, let's go darker blue. 52 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, quickly chop the end of that Steinway verse. Option click and drag it up to all 4 of the strings. But with each of them, functions, MIDI transform, humanize, select and operate. Just to differentiate them a little bit more. Humanize again, number 2, humanize, number 3, humanize, number 4. Add in a 5th of D sharp there in the middle as well. And bring them up an octave. So much better. Press A to open up automation. Let's add in points so that the staccato group rises in volume just before the chorus. And also add in points halfway through the chorus so that it rises in volume there as well. For the first half of the chorus, you can barely hear it. And then it jumps out and makes a huge difference. Option C, color those brown. 54 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, quickly now, create new audio track, AA. With the love on the love She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. A bit rough, but we can make it work. Double click, flex pitch, turn on flex, change from slicing to flex pitch, scroll to the notes. Command A, double click to pitch correct to 100%, change the scale quantize to E major, and we can reduce the vibrato as well, which makes it sound a little bit more robotic, but as a double, it can usually work. 56 minutes, 20 seconds. Command D, let's try one up the octave. I don't need no light to see you shine. Oh, that's high. Quick tune. Okay, last minute we can do this. Command D, response vocal. A bit rough. Command D, let's do that again. Better that time. A quick tune. Shift Command G, put those in a group, give them lots of reverb, copy them across to the end, and would you look at that? It's time. Boom. Nice. Ah, this song is so good. I really do love it when a pop song incorporates orchestral ideas with that straight up pop melody. There's so many layers and so many melodies, but they work together so well. I really enjoy this one. Shout out to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, will we sing the lead vocal live? Or to be rude not to. Here we go. With the love of my life, she's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden eye. You slow. This song is class. If you want to learn how to remake another song that has lots of cool layers just like this, click right here and you can learn Loser by Charlie Puth. I break the whole thing down in extra detail, so I'm sure you'll learn a lot from it. Alright, go on. It'll be rude not to. Hope you're keeping well. Cheers.